morning, League fans. My name's Steve Mascord, and today I'm really excited to tell you I'm coming to you from Amsterdam. I arrived, Paul Fairs from rugbyleague.com. He drove from France. I arrived on the plane at about 8:20 p.m. on Thursday night. Came to this brilliant airport hotel. I know airport hotels, that sounds like a contradiction, brilliant airport hotel, but it really is awesome and really inexpensive. The Ibis by the airport, I'll give it a free plug. And obviously tomorrow's the big game, which rugbyleague.com is sponsoring. It's the Amsterdam Challenge between Hull KR and York Knights. And this afternoon, the likes of Jared Hargraves, and Willie Peters will be at Belushi's here in Amsterdam for a fan party, and we'll be going along. We'll have a look around, see what's going on there. And then tomorrow, we're streaming the match. Don't forget to go to rugbyleague.com, scroll down to stream the Amsterdam Challenge and watch the game tomorrow. So, a bit of news overnight. Yesterday I went to the Championship and League One launch at Oldham, at Boundary Park. And Tony Sutton, the CEO of the RFL, as you would expect, fielded a number of questions about Salford and the fact that Salford is still seeking to avoid a fire sale of players. So you'll hear that audio in this program. You'll also hear some audio from, and I thought it was equally or even more informative, is Mike Eccles telling us exactly what the nature of the new ownership at London Broncos will be, and also discussing what choices they have to make and what their preferences are for the way they want the club to look. London are playing this weekend against Grewar Vikings in the Challenge Cup. And finally, we also will hear from Sadiq Adebiyi, the giant forward for the London Broncos. So a jam-packed show today for Friday. Before I go through the birthdays, a bit of news. 34-year-old Liam Farrell at Wigan has extended for another 2 years. So he'll be there till the end of the 2027 season. But meanwhile, his clubmate Willie Isa has decided to retire. Willie Isa was going to be playing a lot of sort of reserve grade this year and guiding the young players. But he has decided that he won't be continuing. And he's had a good career with Cass, Penrith and the Melbourne Storm. Always been a nice fella around the place, smiley guy. So we wish Willie Isa all the best in retirement. Now, let's go through today's birthdays. And Ray Steer, one of the great early rugby league players from the 30s. It's his birthday today. He died in 1983, born in 1913. Who else have we got today? Eric Ashton, a Great Britain great. He was born in 1935, died in 2008, represented Great Britain, England, and the rest of the world. Phil Gould, best known as a media pundit these days, but also the head honcho at Canterbury. 67 today, Phil Gould. And his playing career was at Penrith, Newtown, Canterbury, and South Sydney. Tony Smith, the coach, former coach of Great Britain and England. He turns 58 today. Played his footy at Illawarra, St George, and Workington. Nat Wood, 53 today. Balmain, the Roosters, Warriors, Wakefield and Warrington. Josh Bostock. If you remember him, he played for Balmain, Wakefield and Oldham. He's 51 today. Happy birthday, Josh. Paul Bowman, the mighty cowboy, 49 today. Lots of well-known players. And, Casey Maguire from Queensland, origin player, played for Parramatta, Brisbane and Catalans. 45 today, Casey Maguire. He's just a wee lad. And Jamie Lyon is 43 today. I didn't realise these players were so much younger than me. Jamie Lyon, 43 today. Played for Parramatta, St Helens and Manly. and obviously represented Australia, New South Wales, and country, because he was a country boy. Dane Tilse, the towering prop. 40 today. He's only 40, Dane Tilse. They're getting younger. Who else have we got? A fella that we've had on the show in the last week or so, Keenan Palacia from the Leeds Rhinos. 28 today. Happy birthday, Keenan. Hope you're staying warm there in West Yorkshire. Brad Fash with the fashionable haircut at Hull FC. He's 29 today. I didn't realise that he actually was contracted to Toronto Wolfpack. Anyway, there you go. There's today's birthdays, and we'll be back after the break with Tony Sutton.
Tony, what's the latest on Salford and their ownership and perhaps having them bailed out, I guess?
Yeah, so we're obviously aware and up to date with the conversations with potential new owners. We've kept Super League clubs particularly up to date over the last couple of weeks. We remain hopeful of a positive outcome for the club.
Well, at what point will they have to sell players? I mean, it keeps being put back each day, it seems to be anyway. At what point is it D-Day, you know?
Well, those decisions are up to the club to make. We're across the position that they are. We're across and updated on their potential new ownership conversations, and as I say, we hope for a positive outcome, but those decisions are for the club to take.
What can you tell us about the prospective new owners?
Any offer or any conversations are currently confidential. Again, for a club transaction, that would be for the club to update. Our role in that transaction would be, as it is with any change of ownership, fit and proper owners' tests or directors' tests, and the RFL board approves any change of control at any club. As we've done a couple of times this season already, that would be the extent of our role in that transaction.
I'm sure the other people around the table will have more questions on Salford, but also London perhaps going through an ownership change. What can you tell us about that?
Nothing more than has already been in the media and conversations that have already been had. And much like the Salford situation, we massively value London Broncos in our competitions, and we're hopeful of a positive outcome for them and aware of the challenges that they faced.
For someone like Gary Hetherington to put his experience and time into reviving London Broncos, what are your thoughts on that?
I think Gary's experience over, 26, 27 years, of course, not just at the Rhinos, but prior to that as coach, player, etc. That experience is incredibly valuable. He's been on a long and significant journey with Leeds Rhinos, and I think that's very valuable and positive for the sport, for Gary to be involved at whatever level in the situation or the project that the London Broncos currently are.
One last one for me. What are the chances that Super League will kick off with 11 teams?
We're working on the fixture list as it is, and that Super League kicks off with 12 teams.
Now, Tony Sutton, yesterday, he was asked whether a championship team might step into the breach if Salford are unable to start the season, and whether championship teams had been offering themselves up to go into Super League. Here's what he had to say.
We're working on business as usual, but as you would expect of a governing body, yes, we've scenario planned.
Have you had championship clubs express that they'd be willing to step up and are ready to step up if they needed to?
We've scenario planned, but I'm not going to go into any more details.
You're on rugbyleague.com, and we're talking to Tony Sutton, the CEO of the RFL, about pertinent league matters. And there's no more pertinent league matter in the UK than the Kangaroo Tour at the end of the year, and it's not a matter we hear much about. So Tony was asked a number of questions about the Ashes, about when tickets are going to be on sale, when we're going to get some news, and here's what he had to say.
So our colleagues at Rugby League Commercial working through all of the logistics of that, and you're right, what a wonderful series that will be for the men's game and for the game in the UK. We had one pencilled in for the first year of COVID and lost it, and I think that would have been the first one for, 16, 17 years. So we look forward to it. Announcements will be in due course when all those logistics have been worked through. Yeah, so probably more relevant for colleagues from Rugby League Commercial, but as you can imagine, a very significant and very, very positive tour in the UK for the men's game. And these things take time to organise, venues, for example, and coming to those venue agreements and all of the logistical arrangements for an Australian men's team to travel north at that time of the year. So these things take time, but as and when we're ready to make announcements, we will do so.
Would you be hopeful it's announced before the start of it, or at least coincide with the start of the Super League season?
As and when we're ready to make announcements, then we will do.
There's been a bit of criticism of the Super League clubs coming into the Challenge Cup in the third round, which means they could line up against amateur teams. And you would have heard on this program Jake Connor last week saying after his Siddle team had a win in round one of the Challenge Cup that he felt it was a bit dangerous for the amateur teams. And equally, you would have heard a number of players on this show say it was a bit of a worry for the professional teams as well, as to there's limited value from these matches in an already crowded fixture calendar. So, predictably, Tony Sutton was asked about this burning issue yesterday. Here's what he had to say.
No, not for me. I love the stories of the Cup. We're here at the 1895 Cup draw, and there's been some wonderful draws that have come out, and I think that journey for community clubs and amateur clubs and League One clubs and Championship clubs through the Challenge Cup are part of the great stories and magic of the Challenge Cup. No, with all the recommendations that we brought forward as part of the Brain Health Committee outcome from into 2024, we are very comfortable with our current medical standards and our current player welfare standards, and of course they will apply in the Cup as they apply across all of our competitions, and we're comfortable with where that framework is currently.
Okay, we're back at the Championship League One launch, and I've got Mike Eccles here from the London Broncos, and very much in demand. Everyone's very interested in what's happening at the Broncos at the moment.
Yeah, we haven't done any press for 3 months, so there wasn't much to report, was there really? So, well, there is actually. There's plenty to report. So, no, we just kind of just kept our heads down really and just worked on making sure there was a club.
And there is. And tell us what's the latest.
Yeah, we're alive and kicking. We only have 12 contracted players. We have 12 to 14 trialists, some of which will play at the weekend. But we've paid salaries for the last 2 months without, obviously, David's backing. We've stabilised from where we were. We've got a match day to look forward to on Saturday.
It's okay.
Was it not?
That's fine, it's fine. The audio's...
We've got a match day on Saturday to look forward to. So we're delighted, really. We'll put a team out there, but we've prepared the best we can. There's going to be a club competing in Championship. That was not always a given, absolutely not at one point. So, yeah, I'm really happy.
What was your reaction when you first heard Gary Hetherington wanted to help the club?
Yeah, good. We've, just to be clear, we have had help and a tap on the shoulder from 3 big clubs. They've said, we're here to help you. Wigan have just did some business with us for a couple of players that will help us. They were really adamant on supporting us and making sure we got through this tough time. Hull KR have tapped on the shoulder and said, let us know, what you need really. Early doors in terms of players, so they've supported us in that way. And Gary and Leeds have supported us in trying to secure some investment, which it gives us all a bit of confidence really, because he's classically the best administrator, off-field operator in the game, isn't he? So he's got the biggest contact pool. So to have Leeds and Gary supporting us through that is huge for us, yeah.
It's not going to be London, it's not going to be Brisbane Broncos, so who is it going to be? Do you have any information on that?
No, not at all. It won't be it'll likely not be any one single group at all. Not entirely sure where the Brisbane stuff came from. They've obviously distanced themselves, rightly, quite unfair on them really, the way that came out, but that's not the case. It will more than likely be more of a consortium of investors, but that's TBC as well. We have a couple of different options on the table to look at, but ideally we would have a series of owners and investors.
And what impact does that have on your playing list?
Well, huge, because we don't have any money to spend. So we've secured what we can. We will strengthen. Players will come available. Are there many right here, right now? No, but we won't panic. We will use what we've got at our disposal. We've gone into the London areas. We've got no players, so what do? You use your own players that are in the area. They're playing SCL, some former League One players in there from Scholars, and that's how it should be. we're on the floor. We've gone back to our roots with the kits. We said this is who we are. Hopefully promote the best kit sales. That's the Fulham jersey. That's, other than the quartered shirt we had last year, that's probably the best or most recognised away shirt that we've had. Gone back to our roots with that, and then the same with players. We haven't got any players. Use the players that are around us, and that's the club I want us to be.
You say it will be a consortium. Has anything come through yet? Has any funding come through yet? Are you able to spend more on players than you could last week, or the week before that, or the week before that?
No. So we've still pretty much running our own ship in terms of what we're bringing in, what we're generating, and we've stabilised through that way. So to answer the question directly, no, there hasn't been investment coming yet. We have some decisions to make around that, but I think the process will be ongoing. I don't think it's going to be a David Argyle's taking over tomorrow and that's the owner, that's the investment, this is how much we've got to spend. I think it will be a slow build and decisions to make for us really as a leadership group.
What are those decisions?
Well, who we go with. The vision has to be, my vision is Super League. Jason's vision is Super League. We've killed ourselves to get in the position where we got to. We got up on merit. We've then had a really tough year, but we've still got up to over 12.5 points in the IMG rating. We're not too far away. We can't step back now. That is my strong opinion on that. So what investors, what leadership can support that vision is a primary focus for me.
And what about the ground you play at? Is that set in stone?
For me, absolutely, yeah. It's the perfect Super League stadium for the IMG criteria. It's fantastically well serviced. You look at all the grounds we've had some fantastic grounds. I'm not sure any of them have probably been as well serviced as this one. In terms of the Thames link, in terms of the underground, overground situations that you've got, in terms of your access from Waterloo to Pancras, it's amazing, really. So the capacity, the ability to grow there, I think it's the perfect stadium. Jason thinks the same thing too. We're tied into an agreement with them. I say tied, that sounds bad, doesn't it? We're thankful in agreement with them, and also they understand our journey, right? They were a club that were dead, if you like, and they've rose from the ashes, so they understand our position, and they've supported us as well.
Last question on that. You said you and Jason have to make some decisions about who you go with. How many shooters are there?
Well, we can't disclose that right now. We've got realistically, we've got a couple of options on the table. Is right now. Throughout the period, we've had 5 or 6 people express interest, and some it just wasn't right. Some didn't come to the table after initially proposing their interest and their ideas. We've a couple of options.
And what's the timetable in deciding?
There isn't one really. We need cash quickly to recruit, but at the same time, I think with the plan to build and grow off the field in terms of investment as well, stabilise and get some money through the door is a priority, but that won't determine necessarily which route we go. The end vision and goal has still got to be that we get to Super League within hopefully 2 years' time, and we fulfil all the holes in the IMG criteria that the club currently have.
Thanks, Mike. Okay, we're at the Championship League One launch at Oldham, and I've got Sadiq Adebiyi from the London Broncos, who you heard on rugbyleague.com all last year. What's the off-season been like? A bit of uncertainty, I guess, mate?
Yeah, it's been a bit different, like you said, with the uncertainty at the back end of last year, but myself especially, sort of, that time off was good. It was a long and hard season for us players, so having that bit of time off, spending time with family, friends, and going away, and then sort of coming back and getting stuck into pre-season. It's a bit different, but like I said, done it a few years now, so it's a bit similar.
A few fellas moved on. You didn't. You chose to stick around.
Yeah, I was one of the ones that stuck around. I'm not gonna lie, it was a difficult decision, but a decision that was made easier by obviously the club sticking behind me and Mike staying on board as well. And he's a coach that we all want to play for, and speaking to him throughout the whole off season and things like that, he sort of made the decision a bit easier to stay.
New ownership, must be exciting when you read about Gary Hetherington, people like that getting involved in the club. Do you guys know more than we do?
No, us as players, it's a cliche, but we just focus on what we can on the pitch. All the outside and backroom stuff, we'll leave it to the staff. I'm not too sure what the situation is there, but it's positive news. That's what I've been told. Very positive.
Jake was just telling me that the season ticket sales are like almost double or something. They're massively up on last year. Why do you think that is?
I've got to give credit to our loyal fans. Like I said, obviously with the uncertainty of last year, back end of start this year, a good core group of fans stuck by us, and like I said, season tickets have been flying off the shelves, and obviously our performance as well last year. I hope we put a good performances in despite the results and the overall outcome. But I hope that attracted a lot more people to come and watch the London Rugby League.
In your experience, what is the secret? What makes it take off in London? What are the missing pieces, do you think? And can this new owner, if it's Gary Hetherington or someone like that, can they do it? You know?
The secret for me as a player from London is just getting as much players from London playing the sport. Like you said, it's a majority northern sport, but there's so much talent and players down south that if we can tap into that and get a lot of players coming through the youth system and eventually through the first team, I think that will put us in good stead for the future.